What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nick Bartell, editor-in-chief for technowarriorstv, and are you ready for another galactic out-of-this-world interview? I'm here with Frater OPU, and today we are going to be talking about the various UFO sightings he has had throughout his life. Also, we are on the Discord server Synthesis. And what is that? That is a really cool server where you can see everything that's out of this world, or things that go bump in the night, or whether you like conspiracy theories, or uh, various things that cold, anything that's weird or out of this world or spooky, give it a look. They got some really cool people on there, and if you wanted to check it out for yourself, I put a link in the description to the Synthesis Discord server in the description below. So, without further ado, Frater Opu, tell us about your sightings and take it away.
All right. I would say good evening, everyone. Um, I would say I came from a small rural town back in Texas. It was a place called Old Snake River. I think I was about 13, 14. Generally, I would just go out to the forest or the woods and kind of walk around, do whatever. Um, there was one particular day I went out walking and didn't think much of it. Seemed like a normal day.
Mm-hmm.
But this time I went more deeper into the woods where usually nobody goes, and it was an isolated area that around that area there's nobody lived or hung out that often. So I went to the deeper side, but I noticed it was starting to get pretty late, and then it was getting dark pretty fast. So I think it was like the evening time, about 5 or 6 o'clock. So I ended up saying I was gonna just go back home. But as soon as I was on my way back home, I had my dog with me. Of course, we are kind of surveying the area. But as I was trying to get back home, he took off running for no reason, and then I had to chase him down. But the moment I was trying to go get him, there was a bright green light shining right above me. There was no sound, nothing. It was immediate. I looked up and it was just blinded me. I had no idea. So it kind of freaked me out, and I took off running the opposite direction, ran as fast as I could. Uh, Usually there was helicopters that survey the area, and I didn't hear it this time. I didn't hear helicopter fins, nothing. It was complete silence. But of course, the light was still shining, and it was tracking me. Like it kept following me. No matter what direction I went, it would still follow. But I tried to run as fast as I can to the nearest street, and then, like I said, the light was still following me. Didn't hear a noise, nothing.
Uh-huh.
Finally, I found the street that I was trying to get to, and as soon as I got to the street, immediately the light disappeared. Um, and then my dog came running right back. He found me in the end, and then there was a truck down the way, and I had waved him down. And I was like, "Hey, man, did you see anything?" He's like, "Nah, I didn't see nothing." So it really freaked me out. And I was like, "All right, forget it." So I just went back home and thought nothing of it, and I never told anyone that incident because it just seems way too outlandish. And
Now,
I
did
didn't
it
have.
say again?
I was saying I just did. There was no proof I had to show, and they're probably gonna think I was crazy. So I never even told anyone the story until just recently.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did it look like? It was just like, did it look like a craft or anything?
No, that's the only part I could not get. It was just immediately as I looked up, it was just a bright green light shining, and I couldn't see past that.
And so you didn't even
Mhm.
do. So you kept this pretty silent. You didn't report it to anyone else. Did you
No,
report it to MUFON?
no, not at all. Like I didn't. No, I did not. This is about maybe the third time I've ever talked about this to anybody.
Oh wow. Now
Hmm.
you said you had another UFO sighting. Tell me about that one.
But yeah, correct. This one intriguing too because this I ended up moving. We moved out of the country to a more suburban area, but it was kind of it was still good amount of woods. It was kind of isolated at the time. Um, but there was one night I was watering my lawn, and I think it was about want to say 8:30, 8 o'clock. Just watering my lawn like I usually did at my parents' house, and then I just coincidentally happened to look up, and sure enough, there was this. I would say from a distance, like right across from me, a giant green ball of fire and
Oh
flames
wow.
was just falling from the sky, and then there was a little orb hovering above it, and you couldn't miss it. That was the thing. You could not miss this. Immediately, I ran to my friends next door, and I said, "Hey, man, I saw something from the sky. Did you see anything?" And then there was no impact, no explosions, so of course they didn't hear about it. And they said, "Nah, you're crazy, dude. There ain't, there's no, there's nothing out there." And they didn't believe me. So I said, "All right, fine, whatever." And then went back outside, and then there was like a black SUV that was kind of going down the cul-de-sac, and it was a triplets that lived about 5 houses down from me. And they asked, I've never talked to them before. This is our first time meeting. I heard about them, but I never really talked to them. But then they told me, "Hey, did you see a green orb float in the cul-de-sac through the street?" I said, "No, I didn't see that, but I saw a green ball of fire." He said, "No, we saw that too. We
Mm-hmm.
saw a green ball that was a green ball of light that was going through the streetway down to the cul-de-sac, and immediately right after that, they saw the green ball of fire." So then my friends came out, and then we went to the forest to see if we could find anything. And then, sure enough, we never found anything, but we searched all night in the forest trying to see if we'd find anything. I believe we called the cops or 911 to report it, but I think they said we were the only ones that reported it, so they never came down.
Oh
And
wow. So it was you and like two other people that witnessed it.
3 people. It was triplets, and they were very spiritual people. They've been exposed to a lot of aliens encounters. So they said that wasn't their first time. It's happened before, but for me to see it and them to see it as well was a hell of a coincidence.
Oh wow.
And
And did you have any other sightings, or was that was the only two?
that was just about it. I don't think. I mean, I've seen small encounters when I went down to Mexico. Of course, you see all kinds of things over there, but I did see some UFOs or some. It looked like saucers. They were like silver saucers,
Uh huh.
and the moment you stared at it, it would immediately disappear and just bright. It would shine really bright, and then it just went on its way. But
So you witnessed some flying saucers when you were in
yes,
Mexico.
hmm
Tell me about those. Like what happened like when you were in Mexico with those.
I was around 15, so we went to go see our cousins, and they're very superstitious, and they kind of believe in a lot of the folklore, chupacabra, all that stuff. But we went down. It was a bright day. I think it was almost a plain sight. But we were just driving in our truck, and then I looked up in the sky, and then sure enough, I saw like a silver saucer. And I asked my cousins. I said, "Hey, did you see that?" Um, and they said, "Yeah, we've seen it before." The moment I told them to look at it, it just disappeared.
Oh wow.
But they have claimed they've seen saucers or random things in the sky that would immediately show up and disappear. So it was not uncommon that happened.
So
But
so basically your friends and family had various things happen to them from sightings. Did you guys have any ever abductions?
I don't believe so. I have not heard of any abductions. There was only one incident, maybe. We Not a friend or family member, but it was a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But she never went into detail exactly what happened. But she was a science teacher in my 6th grade class that claimed that she was abducted, and then she obviously never wanted to talk about it. And it was something similar that happened to me though. It was a bright shining green light. Uh, and it was chasing her and her friends out. So I
Oh
don't
wow.
think I don't think that the encounters that I had are just mere coincidences. It has to be a set of connections, I believe. But
So, but
mm,
with hers, with abductions, you've heard of
mhm.
missing time. You'll have missing time and various other things when you have an abduction. Um,
Hmm.
from what.
I've heard of something similar in the missing 411 cases,
Mm-hmm.
in the national parks, that people would disappear and then they would come back up with their bodies completely intact, and even though they were missing for months or weeks, they had the signs of post mortem or rigor mortis, which only occurs after 2 days before the body decays. So it's not something unheard of, but it is really interesting to hear how that someone's been missing for months will come out later and completely untouched and unscathed and still have complete preservation of the body.
Oh wow, that is crazy. Now, and you've never actually witnessed an actual being like a gray or a reptilian or an insectoid?
Now, this does come in tie with my paranormal encounters in a way. Um, there's a few that happen, but that's the only thing I've ever come close to any shadow figures,
Mm-hmm.
encounters of extraterrestrials.
So with the shadow figures, some of them can be extraterrestrial, but a lot of
Hmm.
them are demonic. There's some
Really?
things that are demonic. Now,
Hmm.
we will have that in another interview. It'll be the paranormal encounters of Frater OPU. So be sure to stay tuned for that one.
Hmm.
Well, do you have anything else?
No, I believe that was it.
Well,
Forgive me if it was short and brief, but that was those the encounters I did have, though.
ladies and gentlemen, Frater OPU, thank you so much for being on the show today. If you
Thank you.
like this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you liked it. Hit that dislike button if you disliked it. And if you adored it, all you have to do is strangle that subscribe button, slap that like button in the face, and pow, right in the kisser. Be sure to check out the Synthesis Discord server in the link in the description. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful Halloween.